All right. You have been meetings being live streamed. All right, cool. Got it. All right. We are back. Nerd Z, is you ready?
I'm ready.
Del Pesh, is you ready?
Ready.
In a world where the oxtail gravy is so good that you would go through it in a snowstorm. This is the vent. I'm your host, Jay Hunterville. We got the Nerd Z here.
Hey, did they even find that guy yet? Yo.
Nah, they're still looking for him. And we got Del Pesh here.
Wait, they're looking. Wait, hold on. They're looking for which guy?
The
Oh
same guy
shit!
Yeah,
who came there looking for him to offer him a free meal.
they should give him a free meal for life for a year at least.
After going
That's
through all
that's
of that?
that's a loyal customer.
Facts.
Even when the
Facts.
food's not loyal.
Even
We don't have no food for you. Like they'll, you
even
know.
no. Okay, let's say if he really made it inside. He opens the door. First of all, if he can open the door, why would staff be in?
Why would stop?
It's a snowstorm.
But,
Right?
but my thing is, how did he not know it would be closed? The snow was untouched. Who walked
It's true.
there?
But like we can all relate to that disappointment though. I think that's the thing about that video. It's like we can relate. We hustle and bustle to get somewhere. Sometimes it's the Caribbean store itself. When you go there and say, "Yo, can I get a barbecue?" Da, 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 da. Sometimes they don't even stop you. They make you say the whole order, and it's like we don't have no barbecue. It's done. We don't have that. And you're just like, you just want to drop to your knees already.
Right? Shout out to For Y'all and for that one.
Yeah. Some people, you go there, you want oxtail, they don't have whatever you want to get. You're just stuck like Thor when he lost his hammer. He's like, no, Milner in the rain. But the rain is the steam from the rice and peas. Steam out the thing, yo. But on Monday, I don't know if you guys remember the Sunday we were speaking about the snowstorm, right? And the city of Toronto has waken up to a treacherous snowstorm.
Mm.
The 401, people were shoveling on the 401. Multiple TTC buses were shut down. Work, I didn't work on like what was your guys' Mondays like? What happened with y'all? What was y'all Mondays were like?
I was
Woke
inside.
up. I looked outside. I looked back in my bed, and I went back to bed. That's
You didn't have work? You didn't have work or anything?
I just went. I pick up the phone and go Doug Ford and just close it. Think I'm
Did,
coming into this madness.
What? Yo, speaking about Ford though, the way that there was so much controversy, I forget who the speaker was, but he was
from
on one of
breakfast television?
Yeah, the way the man was getting so hot and bothered. He's like, how dare he? The insult. It was like, sir, I don't know you, but
I know him. I see him every morning on TV. I
Like,
know because what did you do, Zakir, when it was snowstorm? What was your morning like when you woke up?
I saw outside and I stayed inside. That was it. Where am I
Like,
going? Where am I going?
Did y'all guys shovel your snow, or you guys just like, you know what?
Worse.
that took like 2, almost 3 hours to finish.
Mm.
That thing was no joke. Cause catch the joke now. So while we're shoveling, just shoveling. This is the first time I got tired in a while. I had to stop shoveling, and then you're cold, and you're just like, yo, my bones hurt, my muscles hurt. I'm like, yo, this is not
You
it.
realize you're getting old.
I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, this is not it. Like this foolishness. I was considering getting a snowblower, right? But
I said this year I'm buying one. I'm
just in
buying one this
case,
year.
like
I'm buying one this year. Because
Sucks.
ain't no way. If I couldn't do that type of stuff. But the thing about it, we delayed our snowblowers because we get snow, but like not that much. You know what
But
I
I
mean?
mean,
So we're kind of
it's like what, every so often, every what, 5 years we get snow like that in Toronto?
yeah. So yeah, for me, I woke up in the morning and I seen the snow, and then when I looked at my step, and when I seen like the step was like the snow and the step were like somewhat the same height, I said, okay, I'm gonna start shoveling. I have to start because I rather start when it's like nice and it's fresh than when it hardens up. Because when it hardens up, it's terrible. So I decided to go out there. I didn't know where to start. I started with the cars. So I started brushing off the cars. Then started shoveling into the street. I couldn't tell the difference between my driveway and the street at one point. Like just that, I couldn't tell. And this is when and then I was like, I'm gonna try to make a little money, shovel some snow, because people would, say, yo, they want to shovel some snow. So I'm shoveling. I'm breaking down snow like it's like a brick of cocaine. Like I'm breaking it down, and then like passing that, cutting it half. Like I'm doing everything to try to get the snow out the way. And then I finally slowly started to get somewhere, and I slip. I slip and I drop on my hip. Like when I say, I thought I was gonna be okay because I used the shovel to like be like a post as I slip. Nope. Shovel went off. I went off, dropped on my hip. I was rolling on the floor. One of those like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hot drop. And it's like I dropped in the place where it was like the lightest snow. Like if I dropped on snow, it would have been all right, but I dropped where it's the lightest snow, and then it was like I dropped, I got up. And the worst thing about these situations, you ever see when you drop on ice or if you drop on things, and then not only have to collect yourself, but you have to collect the things that like fell in the situation. So now I got up looking for the shovel. I did not know where the shovel went. Mid-drop. So I just dropped, and then I'm like getting up to look for shovel. Yo. And then it gets you mad. Where the beep is the shovel? Find it, get back in the house. I did a lot, and I said, yeah, that's it for me. I'm not shoveling anymore. I am done.
After that,
I was done. There's some grown people in the house that they can shovel the rest. I did most. And at the same time, I looked at I thought about it. If the snow trucks come and plow it, you're gonna have to clean it again.
What happened in my neighborhood? Because what happened is when they came through, it just went. So basically, it was bending this in the street right now. I'm aiming at the camera. It's on the street, and snow's just going. And it was blocking people in their driveways. So you come outside and you have to people.
You have to go back again.
God damn. I was watching snowblowers stall. This man had faith in his snowblower. Shut off on the man. And I'm like, of course, you're trying to take 3 feet of snow with, but yeah, TTC buses were out of commission. Like footage, there's footage of people pushing buses.
But it's the buses being out of service almost every other stop. That was crazy. It was like ghost town. It felt so strange.
And
like some zombie thing. Like,
would you guys push a TTC bus?
Nah, bro.
For the sake of the community.
For the sake of community.
Where?
Community.
You didn't see the footage where like 10 people are pushing this TTC bus?
I mean, that's a Jane strip. I don't know. I guess you'll tighten it.
Positivity happens at the James Strip too, man. Come on now. They're pushing buses. Yo, I seen that, and I was like, yo, people are pushing this bus.
There are places to go.
First off, I would assume buses had 4-wheel drive.
No, that's the thing.
No.
I would assume so.
You think to
I
be
would
good
assume so.
all year round, but no, you learn.
For all the money you're paying to go on the government pays, y'all don't have forward. That those buses should go through every situation, which we assume. But a lot of TTC people that were laid off were in glee when they saw glee. The term used was glee when TTC buses were ding 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 spinning out in the world, spinning sideways, blocking our street. They were in glee.
Why? Because they didn't have to continue the ship.
Like they probably didn't have experienced drivers that knew how to go through the tundra. They laid off a bunch of drivers. I felt like they laid off a bunch of snowplow man too. I wouldn't be surprised. The way I see it, like I felt like this one was like, whoa. In Brampton, I was kind of like, well, they had snow days around this time. Like when it snowed certain times, when it snowed, it was like snow days. I remember Toronto didn't have snow days like that. I remember I would call Del Pesh and be like, yo, it's snow. We're I'm at home. It's like, nah, I have to go to school still. I'm like, oh, that's rough.
And then you remember they'll send us home at half day. Which doesn't make like 12 o'clock, okay.
And then sometimes
gotta go home. And you're like, what?
Yep.
Why even call me?
And then that bus ride will basically be a full day. If the buses work a certain way. And then, like Nerd Z said, Doug Ford decided that, hey, I'm gonna go outside and shovel with a dustpan.
Like, what was that?
Digging technique is not diggable. Like it's just
the technique.
His technique,
bro.
Like,
the shovel, bro. The shovel was
the technique, the hill, the people, the everything. It was just like
shoveling already shoveled snowbank. You think you're slick?
You
think you're slick. You think you're slick. You brought in someone else's copy of work, eh? You think you're slick, sir? You should have tan at your yard. That's what you should have done.
He was doing like he was holding it like this and kind of like taking it forward. He was like,
I felt like he was trying to be Boris Johnson, UK's prime minister, because he be coming out with some stuff, but
it's not like
Ford wasn't
or whatever.
No.
What it was like, the funny thing is, the guy at breakfast television that was flipping out, like you said, first what did he call it? He called it the Snowmacron.
Yeah,
that was new to me. I'm like, you clever soul. You know what I mean? And then he's talking about Doug Ford, and he's mad because it's basically for social media, and it was like publicity. Because basically he was FaceTiming, talking during FaceTime while driving.
And everybody in the car had no masks on.
Right.
But here you are, the mayor, and you're supposed to be enforcing all this?
Mayor, Premier.
Oh, Premier.
No, not Premier. What?
Oh, he's the mayor, no?
No, he's not the mayor. No. He's
and this is I don't know what he is. Yeah,
Ford?
The wrong person.
Right?
Hold up.
But
if we don't know, I don't know what are we have to know. Hold on.
But and then basically he what else did he do? Yeah, the snowing. Obviously, he's trying to help people dig up. But I think that day specifically was a day where I guess his ratings were supposed to show. Like his ratings to show that Effie was like
for the elections
and all that stuff. And he had the lowest numbers.
Of course.
He had the lowest numbers. So
I mean, this guy's track record is not looking very cute at all. I mean, aside from the rumor where he is the one printing off all the restriction signs, and also like being said that this man's been pocketing all this money and now became a millionaire during COVID because of it. And then to try and be off his brother's like legacy and hype. Like, this guy has a track record that's just not think it's ready to get him out, out of the hot seat, the box.
Because
I
this
don't.
is the year it's election time too.
Yeah, it is.
So
But that's funny. He really thought that was really going to help his numbers, taking out a small shovel like that.
That show you did. You weren't outside, bro. That showed you did. You don't shovel snow. You don't shovel snow. If the shovel's not like half your height, more than half your height, what?
Right? If
Can't hear you.
show
Can't hear you. Dapesh. You're. I don't know if you're. I don't know if you can't hear you. Delpesh. You're distorted. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Oh.
Sorry. But yeah, like I just for the way I see it when it came to this, like they're saying like, oh, he's doing it for social media. And in my head, I'm like, I mean, I think this is what it is though. This is just what people do now. Like this is the type of marketing people do.
Yo, I seen the other day that Toronto was considered the capital city of cap.
Oh, dude.
And I beg to differ. That like I know in North America or just in general.
In Canada, like Canada, we were the city of cap.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Look at our mayor.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, that was a snowstorm for us. And that's the thing. The thing about things, people do a lot of things for just. So I think social media currency is very expensive to people. I guess it's very valuable. Like it's the most valuable, not valuable thing. You know what I mean? Like if I'm making any sense, like you make a lot of followers, you make another thing, but like it doesn't really affect your it doesn't yes, it affects your pocket, but not as much as I guess it's supposed to. Is it? If there any way I can say
social media?
Yeah, like social media currency compared to like real currency.
I mean, it depends on how you use it, right?
You can use your supporters, followers, and be like, "Hey, company, sponsor me because I have this many people."
Yeah.
But you have to have like legit influential, like I guess, followers that you could actually influence. A lot of people just a numbers game, and then I guess that comes in with the cappery, right? That you have a bunch of numbers, and then you can't do anything with the numbers you have. I mean, you have 30,000 followers. Tell all 30,000 followers to give you $1. You made $30,000.
That's my mentality now. I feel like you don't need as if you want 1 million people, go ahead. But like, as long as you have like you said, like
solid fan base, like a fan base that's willing to invest in you.
Like solid, like you said, all you need is like, oh, just cash at me, transfer me, Apple pay me $1. $1. You just made 30,000 before tax.
Facts.
If you really think about it, like it's just nothing,
And then so like I don't know, like, and then the thing about it, sometimes it's like shock value works at the same time. Like some people do crazy things to get a fan base, and then it's like, or say the right things to get a fan base. You know what I mean? We've seen this in the era of time, like, prosperity preachers. They say the right things to get you happy, to get your money. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about tithes?
What do I feel about tithes?
In general, everyone on the panel right now.
For me, based off the Bible, I understand tithes, and then based off, I'm okay with it, but I'm not saying. For me, I give just that. For me, I give without even thinking about getting back, even though I get back. So
you're more selfless.
I get it. It's like a selfless thing for me. Like, yes, it's selfless. Yeah, there's a little perk, like when you go back and get it back in taxes or whatever, but that's not something I think about in the first place. Sometimes I don't even Like I got my tithes before and I didn't put it in my taxes. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, so
With
that's
that,
how I feel about tithes.
I know people did that. They put it in the taxes. Okay.
Yeah, it's considered giving to a charity.
Yeah.
Charities, religious party, medicine.
Some people consider it like a
nonprofit.
saving plan.
Yeah.
Like in a certain way.
Yeah, man, you get your stuff. As long as it's more than $10, you get it back.
Like I remember like growing up in the church, anytime that collection plate came, we just put a little clink clink.
The 1, 2.
And then slowly after time though, like we see the plate and we kind of just go,
The thing about it though, like for me, offering, I don't really like for me now, outside looking in and like being in church a long time, I go to the business meetings, I go to certain things and I see where the money is going.
Mm.
And then I'm like, okay, I see where certain things make sense, like the building fund, this and that, stuff like that. Oh, community outreach, you see how much money goes into community outreach. And then you actually, me like being a part of the church, you see it because we actually do things in the community, right?
Yeah.
So like, but there's some places, Jolson, that have, they make millions of dollars, and instead of just opening their doors during hurricanes, they hide it in the walls. So like, allegedly. So like, you see what I'm saying? Like it's shaky. It's shaky. So just, I don't know, the way I see it, if in regards to like, even like, Michael Todd, I don't know what he does with his money. Apparently he's done good things, but hey, the intent, I guess you see the intent in the long run. That's one. Two, you got to know the Bible for yourself. A lot of people, the way I see it, you got to read the Bible I get it. A lot of people listen to their pastors, but the pastor should not be the only person that should be reading the Bible to you, because the pastor is not perfect himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like you need to read the Bible for yourself and listen, the pastor will say one thing and it'll come from his own opinion, his like, as weird as it's, everybody will read things a certain way. Sometimes you got to go back and read it yourself and see what it says. You know what I mean? Or read to make sure at least it's in context. But in regards to Michael Todd, of him like spitting in a hand and slapping it in his brother's face as an example. Well, okay. Outside looking in, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw it, as much as gross it was, I laughed.
You laughed?
I laughed.
Okay.
I laughed because it was like, I feel like the Bible is it's already a controversial book. It's a very straightforward book. It's very like, you read it and you like, he's talking about the miracle when Jesus spits in the dirt, makes mud, and puts in the guy's eyes, and then guy can see after that. Now, I get where he was saying that sometimes the messy decisions, messy ways, like, it's easy if you read the Bible, you know what he's talking about. And if he explained it, he knew, what he's talking about. But at the same time, that example that he did, that demonstration, was not needed.
You know the dramatization shit.
Because it wasn't needed. Because first off, he didn't even have mud.
Yeah, that was the part.
First off, two things he missed. He didn't have mud or Jesus.
But
and he hawked it. He hawked it too.
Wait, which Jesus are you supposed to have?
Say that again.
Which Jesus are you supposed to have?
Which?
Jesus, I meant Jesus himself. Because only Jesus can do that. Yeah, he shouldn't be like, he hawks the ha. Like from the phlegm.
Yeah.
That phlegm drop.
That phlegm part was a little
It was intense. Not once. Not twice.
Poor guy. And that's the thing. Poor person that decided to be the volunteer and is just You're just standing there, and he's preaching a sermon, and you're just like
the first one.
you're just like
Because the guy's eyes were closed.
the second one.
Huh?
Yeah, during a pandemic.
Yeah, he had his eyes closed.
Yeah, that's cool. You're just like
During a pandemic, and you just catch up.
oh.
You're thinking it's olive oil. Sorry, but anyway, like it's terrible. I'll just say that it's terrible.
Yes. Watching the clip, I can see how some people like had to put the disclaimer. It's sensitive material because it was so cringing. Like
it was gross.
Yo, when I mean
But
there
it
was
funny.
like it was. Yeah, like there was white boogies of the phlegm on the man's face, like hanging. Like,
oh. Come on. What are we doing here?
And then this is what I wonder. I'm like, I feel like even pastors need guidance.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Because you go to your fellow mentors or whatever, and you say, hey, my demonstration, I wanted to do this. There has to be someone that had to go,
yeah, that's not a good idea.
True. Mm.
That's not a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea. Especially during a pandemic.
Yes. I mean, with all the external factors involved, yes, it was not the right time. It was not the greatest delivery. It was probably not the best dramatization of the actual story in the Bible. But
at least went to Amazon to get like the Indian healing clay and put some water in it.
Yeah,
like do that.
All
like,
of that could have been there.
Exfoliate, like
yes.
At least like
right. But I think what the biggest part, like aside from that, I think the biggest part was that in his message, that was the actual most important part. It was him recognizing that this is going to be a distraction. And even though these distractions pop up, it shouldn't take you away from what you're actually supposed to be doing, what your intention or purpose is. Right? Which is to actually listen to the message. So,
which I get.
Yeah.
But
right.
It's very hard
to see past it.
To see past. Like it's like I get what you're saying. It's like, thou shalt not kill. Pow! Like that is the Bible already, like for me, it's like it's already as clear as day. It's already as clear as day.
To some people.
Okay, to some people. Okay, sure. Yeah. Fair enough. But that example, that demonstration, clear as day. Clear as clay, if you want to even say it. But it was clear.
As clay. Okay. That's a good one.
You didn't need to even no. And I feel like I feel like it was a clout chasing thing.
It really wasn't.
I think it was a clout chasing thing.
Really?
I believe totally.
I actually watched the service because he's done that message before. Okay. So like he's done a service where he was talking and expressing the same message. But he had a different dramatization. So for this one, it was like he even kind of said it, like he said this message before, but it was like I have to repeat it because some of you guys don't understand what I'm saying. Like that, he put a disclaimer out there, and it just ended up being so like intense, but wasn't as reserved as the first time he explained it the first time, right? So I guess he was saying it for the people in the back who didn't get it the first time. Here it is.
He didn't do the
He's talking like some real spit.
Like a Nigerian style, where like you see some clips from Nigeria back home or Ghana, how they do it in church. You see women getting slapped, thrown on the chair, like all types of.
Yeah, the goats.
Some people believe that the pastors were the God. Listen, I've seen in my days of going to different churches, I've seen some things, right?
Things, okay.
And like I said, you just have to read your Bible. Just read for yourself. Read for yourself. Read for yourself. Don't make anybody tell you anything.
Yeah,
You
all the
have
gems
to
are
read for
there.
yourself. It's
All the
there for you to read
Yes.
and because yo, I've seen man's go, yo. Psalm John 3:16, 12 disciples that I want. God has told me 12 people to give me $16 in 3 minutes. And I'll be like, and people will do it. And I'm like, no. And the problem is, I'm like, he's shaky. He's a hustler preacher. Don't talk about God people like that. Okay. I'm telling you, like, read the Bible for yourself. That's all I'm saying. Even if you like, this guy said this is what the Bible is, and his verses are here. Read the chapter, read the book, read and see where it's coming from, the context, the time. Like, at least know it for yourself, I would say. If we're trying to know everything else in life, at least, I would say to know that as well. Read for yourself. That's all I'm saying. The people are not getting to heaven because of the pastor that preached to you. So keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind when we, if you believe. But yes, there's that. And
Black people don't be
that I've seen where pastor said, I am dead and I'll be alive when you guys give me money. Basically.
I'm
in Africa, I've seen some. But this is the thing. The thing about some African thing, because I know how Obia is walking, I don't know. Like, some things, it's like, okay, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But some things I'm like, oh no, this may be some real demon sitting. Like when they're praying over a man, I'm like, throwing up legions and stuff. I'm like, that may be true, but I don't know if I can handle them type of sitting.
and one of these
People actually raising mans from the dead, them type of sitting.
No, I'd leave.
Like,
if that happened at a church, you hear me, Z? You hear me, Jay? I'm leaving. I mean, like, what just happened? I'm leaving.
Listen to me. I believe in God to the point that I get scared at some funerals. I'm afraid that, like, someone will get up in the funeral and open the clock. Listen, I will run. You understand me? Ever since I saw American Gods and see the person that got up and is like, oh, cough out the bombing fluid and all this, I said, ooh. No. I'm out of here. I'm done with that. But
really, that's a interesting.
Yeah, but guys, if you read it for yourself, don't let anybody go and tell you anything. Read things for yourself and get the knowledge for it. It's just in life as a whole. I'll say that just in life, not just in life. Know for yourself. Don't let anybody tell you something and then, if
they call it knowledge of self for a reason.
Yes, or do not just follow blindly.
Yeah. Yes. Right. So, the next topic was, what was it? Hold on. It was a post. What was it called? What was it again? Oh, for 30-year-olds. Is it okay? It's a weird comment. It's a weird topic, but is it okay for nope. We can go into Rolling Loud Toronto. We want to talk Rolling Loud Toronto? Because that's deep.
Deeper. Yeah.
So allegedly, Rolling Loud, which is like a music festival, I'll say a showcase for a lot of artists, is coming to Toronto. As you may know, there's a lot of artists in Toronto and the GTA, Canada as a whole. There's a lot of amazing artists in Toronto, and they plan to have a showcase here. And so, how do you guys feel about this? Because I think it's a good idea. For me personally, I think it's a good idea, a good exposure to a lot of artists. I feel like it's a lot of a lot of employment, I would say, because you need a lot of, for those festivals, you need a lot of jobs. That'll open up a lot of jobs, I would say. A lot of artists will get their shine at Rolling Loud. People will hear them, because I feel like in Toronto, for some strange reason, as much as it's big on artists, like, I don't know how it works when it comes to, I don't think they give us the love all over the world, man. Like, yes, people, there's pockets that give love and show love and whatever, but like, I don't think America plays with us like that, man. They'll let a bunch of us in, and I feel like we have to go there and kick the doors down. You know what I mean? It's like a fight to get in.
A fight to get into the American entertainment space?
I feel.
Nah, it's very easy for us Canadians.
Then how come a lot of them are not in the American space?
Because they don't want to travel. They deter it as much as possible. What? Wow.
I don't know, man.
I found who is they? That
The
deterrence.
gatekeepers.
So the gatekeepers here.
Gatekeepers here in Canada are the ones who are not trying to have you travel to go to the States and get big.
Interesting.
Here's the thing. I feel like that's the thing about this like thing that's very complex, that like when I from the outside looking in, I do believe that you can blow up in Canada. You can blow up in Toronto. It's just somehow accessing the States or accessing a certain area or demographic or whatever. Like, I don't think you necessarily need to leave the States. Like, there's a lot of producers that are probably still in Toronto making their music, and then States guys are,
coming here.
Yeah.
But
They'll draw for you. They'll tell you, hey, come over here. You know what I mean? So I feel like, yeah, going to the States may be a good idea, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I feel like Toronto, I feel like Toronto just doesn't, there's platforms, but not enough platforms that tap into the States, that like the States will like, when you go to New York, there's a Breakfast Club. That's where you go for, your top radio station. I don't know what that would be for Toronto. I would say probably We Love Hip Hop.
For a radio show?
Not a radio show. I would say podcast wise.
Podcast?
A radio podcast.
I would say, yeah.
Because it used to be much music.
Yeah,
I would say it used to be much music, but much music, they kind of fell off.
They're coming back though. They got some new VJs.
I don't know.
They're competing against the internet too, which is
I think
I don't know.
I think it comes back to who is your audience. So one thing for me, when I was like going through politics and understanding some of the things in the history of like Canada and stuff, how the structure is and all that other stuff. The urban scene is very new in Canada. And it's not one of like the foundational culture pieces here. You have the Aboriginal culture, you have the British, English, colonial culture, and you have the French. Those three cultures haven't even figured themselves out yet for anybody else to even join the table to say, hey, can I have a seat? So I feel like with the urban scene, especially in Toronto, it's super big. I mean, it's also big in Vancouver. A lot of Vancouver people come to Toronto because they're like, oh, it's super big here. But then that's as far as the incubator goes. It's like,
Toronto.
I know.
Yeah.
For me, I would think. For me, I think
Maybe
it could be a lot of things. I think it's that. I think, there is politics in Toronto that kind of hinder certain things, certain aspects when it comes to promotion of music and when it comes to artists working with each other and stuff like that. Because when blood is shed, it's hard to like thing. right? Like to get past that, you know what I
But
mean?
not everybody's in the streets though. Like, and I
That's
think that's the
true.
other thing.
That's
Like
true.
all the people who are getting Junos, are they in the streets? No. Like,
No, but like if you really look at hip hop in a certain aspect, you
in
know,
Toronto.
as a whole,
Now,
like
okay. So here's the thing. Are we saying the streets tally and score sheet or the industry's tally and score sheet?
I would say for me, I'm thinking the streets. I'll say both.
Because if it was the streets, then it's probably somebody else. But if it's the industry, it's Drake.
What do you mean?
Like,
Explain that.
like if you were gonna say who's the coming up or like who's in the streets or whatever, Drake's not in the streets. And Drake is gonna be the industry commercial representative of hip hop in Canada, especially Toronto.
Well, for me, outside looking in, I feel like there's way more representative than there was before. I feel like there was representatives before, but they just weren't getting the shine like they were supposed to.
So are
Like
we also like gonna say Tory Lanez? Are we gonna adding him to this?
I wasn't even thinking. I'm going way back. I'm going back.
Like, okay,
I'm going back. Like
Top Player and those guys.
Cardinal, Socrates. Those were ambassadors. Northern Touch.
Mm-hmm.
Ambassadors, and then you know you have other people. You know you have Drake. Yes, you have Drake. You have Tory Lanez. You have Nav. You have Toby, Hawaii Mighty. All these people. It's just
Mustafa the Poet. Apparently,
Mustafa the Poet.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of people. It's just I don't know how the system works. I don't know how that system works for like I'm not an artist. So I don't know how it is for them to blow. I would think, the way I see it, I always thought it would be like a nice Toronto versus everybody. And then just go for the walls and just blow up. But I don't know. Like I don't know how you go about it. But I think Rolling Loud will be a good start if everybody from the streets couldn't like say, you know what? Let's just this weekend. Everybody could make money here. Like I feel like it's like a cartel. Everybody could make money here for the future. You know what I mean? If we play this card right, everybody gets exposure. Everybody makes money here.
See, I wish it was the other way around though. Like, why does it have to be an American concert and festival that comes to Canada? Why can't it be a Canadian concert that moves and travels throughout the states?
Because they don't rate us.
They do rate us. Like most of like Hollywood is us. Like, what are you talking about?
They rate parts of us. They don't rate
major roles, major shows, major so many things.
They rate part Canadians. Of us. I think they rate part of us. They rate people in Canada.
Bruh,
but they don't rate Canada.
What do you mean? A lot of the biggest selling like movies and blockbusters have been filmed in Canada.
They rate parts of Canada.
Or is it that Canada just doesn't know how to big up itself?
It could be that too. But they rate enough to know. They're big enough to know, but at the same time, I feel like they don't rate us.
They rate us.
They rate us now.
They've been rating us. What are you talking about?
I feel like they still don't rate us enough. They're like, oh, you're from Toronto? Okay, yeah.
No, I think the States rates us. We just don't rate ourselves.
I feel like we rate ourselves.
There's two different lines right now I'm hearing. So one is we don't rate ourselves enough, meaning Toronto. And then the other line is the States, they could give us a little more props.
So, that's what I'm saying. They could give us a little bit more. They could give us more.
Like, what do you mean? We've been on almost every show. Friends. We have a Canadian on Friends. Bruh, Friends has been running for how many years? Do they even acknowledge
that? They don't acknowledge that.
What do you
They don't
mean?
acknowledge that. They have mere UK actors, and they don't even acknowledge that they're UK.
That's a good point, actually.
They don't acknowledge it. You have to be American.
You have to be
A Toronto, okay, for example, a Toronto based, okay, let's say you think, okay, when the Toronto Raptors were making it to the finals, people in the States didn't care.
Okay.
They don't care about Canada. Like some people do, and some people are like, yeah, I like Canada. I like Toronto. I hear about Toronto. But most of the things they hear about Toronto is through probably Drake, Tory Lanez, and then they're like, okay, Toronto's fire. But like, do they rate us as like, yo, Canada? No, they don't. They like the part. It's like some people won't like Jamaicans for whatever, or like Jamaica for whatever reason, but they like the food. They like what they have to offer. They like what Toronto has to offer. But do they like Toronto enough to say, hey, they're just gonna, sign any and everybody? No. Yes, there's detrimental parts where, like, based off certain things that people put themselves in, it's hard to make money off of, but it's it's
go back to one of the points, like the show we watch, like The Wire, we watch it over and over again. Freaking Bell's British, but obviously because he's in an American show about Baltimore, he has to like.
He has to assimilate,
yeah.
And he couldn't say he was British in the audition. He said he couldn't say he was.
What do you mean the man couldn't say he was British? As soon as the man spoke in interviews, you could tell he was British.
In the interview, he couldn't say he was British. When it was auditioning for The Wire, listen, watch Hot Ones. He talks about it. He was going for Avon's part. And he said, like, yo, I had the accent. He couldn't go as a UK man like that in the auditions because, you go in there, you're done. And then what happened is he did the audition, killed the game. But I guess one of the guys that was like the judge seat or whatever asked him, like, yo, where you from? And then he had to tell the truth and say he's from. He's like, well, you did good. But imagine if off rip, he's like, hello, Sam, I'm here to play for Springer Bell. They're sending him home. They're sending him home.
Oh, that is funny. That's a funny.
You know what
I mean? Like for that, I understand, but I think that was a strategy, clearly, where it's like come in there and you know that you're not from there, but your accent is so good that they have to ask you whereabouts you from. I'm from UK. I'm from the UK, lad. Like, come on now.
But it would be afterwards.
Yeah, but that's more
it's one
shocking than if you came in there saying like my name is whatever. I'm Idris Alba and I have this English accent, and then you all of a sudden switch into like, yo, I'm from like.
Some people will respect that. Some people will respect that. They will be like, yo, that's amazing. Good for you. But some people are like, this is America. I want Americans playing Americans.
Just like people want black people playing black people. Yes, I understand.
Right. Right. So like it's very, you see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that for Toronto, I think people rate Toronto, but they don't rate Toronto enough. I think sometimes maybe Toronto, like some people will be like, Toronto kind of shoots himself in the foot with the politics, but at the same time, a lot of these, like, think about it. There's a lot of these artists that are in politics, signing deals. You don't think, as weird, as twisted as it sounds, you think these guys that are signing artists that are in politics, of course they would sign them because they own their masters and all. You know what I mean? So if someone goes to jail, they still make money. If someone dies, they still make, you know what I mean? As twisted as it sounds in that industry. So I don't know. I guess, I don't know. The way I see it is just.
I mean, I can
What is
definitely tell you why the States comes to Canada to do more filming and productions and all the other stuff. It's because it's cheaper for Americans. Yeah. It's significantly cheaper to film in Canada.
Anytime you're in King Street or, The Boys, they shot that around.
Yeah, downtown, right by
Downtown,
Queen
Suits,
and
the
Young.
first Suicide Squad.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. All these major films have been done in Canada. A lot of the production and the people who have been casted are actually Canadian. So why would America want to come and give us all these jobs when they can ship their own?
This is what I'm trying to show you. They don't rate us. They rate us, but they don't rate us enough.
But they're clearly giving us jobs.
They'll give us jobs, whatever. But they're filming in Canada, but they won't say they're in Canada.
Okay, but there are Canadian films that are being filmed in other places.
But that's what I'm saying with the music, and I'm saying with other things. They rate us enough, but they don't rate us enough. Like, you know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
But that doesn't sound like an America problem. That sounds like a Canadian problem. Canada is not actually stepping up to the plate and taking its flowers for the rating that they have or given. But
that is kind of strange, because it's like, if
it's like
Canada, I don't know. I think there's more. There's more to this. There's layers to this whole thing. But I think Rolling Loud would be a great idea for Toronto. Canadian artists. I think it would be a great. If there's anything that they want to speak on the exposure, this is one of them. I would say that it'd be a good platform if it's used the right way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're saying if I'm not concerned about America coming and doing like a little tour or whatever, because when's the last time that has happened where you had like a concert like that? Probably like 2017.
Veld was more still American artists actors, and that's the thing. Rolling Loud, like the thing about Rolling Loud is like, I just want them to like. Yes, I want it to be like I think Rolling Loud knows that there's a lot of pop in Toronto artists. And I feel like if there's anybody that don't want Rolling Loud in Toronto, I low-key think that because you know that you might not be on Rolling Loud. They're not gonna call for you to be on Rolling Loud.
No.
I don't think that's the reason, but okay.
I think if it's an artist.
Why they're hating?
I think they're hated.
Nah,
I may be wrong, but I think for a platform like that, the Rolling Loud brand already what it is. And they decided to give us a thing here. You know what I mean? They didn't have to. They didn't have to come to Toronto, eh?
Yeah, I get that. But that's what I mean. Like, why do we have to wait until America comes and gives us a hand?
I never said to wait. I never said to wait.
Or
I'm just saying if there's an opportunity there,
thing.
If there's an opportunity there and they want to be here, I don't see a problem with it.
But think about it though. You gotta go and convince a dinosaur, like, yo, we should actually run a concert here because they'll bring out the artists in the city. And then also you start talking about budget, and it's just like, we don't know if we have money for that, and who's the artist? Where's this area gonna be?
But do you even but the other thing is, do you know how many people actually go to the States and actually hold and host things that are Canadian? Like for Caravana, for example, Miami. There were so many bands that did Carnival because it wasn't being held and hosted in Toronto. They went to Miami and they did a killing in Miami. So that's just to tell you a niche, a very specific niche, Caribbean culture, was able from Toronto to move to Miami and blow the whole house down over there. So it's like, who's to say that other parts and other sectors of Canadian culture can't go and do that same stuff?
Because of red taping. Like me and my dad talk about this all the time. There's too much bureaucracy and too much red tape to do anything up here. That's why people eventually just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna head to the States because there's
Yeah.
less twigs in the way, there's less branches. Like to run this thing here, I gotta talk to 5 other people. They all gotta be on board. It's like no. Some parts of the States you don't need all that. You can just really, like you said, go to Miami.
I'm done.
Okay, who runs the city? Okay, we need this, this, this. We need at this time. We need this select area. This is the amount of people we're gonna have. What's okay? Give us a quote. Okay, good. You're with it. All right, and then it's easier.
That's what I'm saying. I think they do rate us. They give us their land to play and do whatever the case is. I think we Canadians don't rate ourselves. Not that
But
America don't rate us. We don't rate
keep in mind a carnival is different than like artists. It's different.
Well,
it's
the top grossing activity and festival that happens in Toronto. Carnival that happens once a year.
Couple bees, man.
Those same people went to the States, to Miami, Florida, to go and do that stuff. And made a killing just as much as the same impact, maybe more in the States than they would have done in Toronto.
I'm speaking more about Toronto artists though. Like I feel like Carnival is already a niche. Like it's already a big.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a small
thing that
niche,
you're gonna make money. Like yeah, but like I feel like when it comes to Carnival, you'll always make money.
So okay, so then who is
I don't
it?
I don't think Toronto artists can make money like that or like get pushed like that because of various reasons. Some of them are trash. Some of them is the outlet. Some of them is it's various things.
Okay, so then that's us not rating our own. That has nothing to do with the States.
It could be a bunch
if we are saying that we are making
very layered
or very mediocre artists, and they're not at the level where it's like, okay, maybe we can send you to the States. That's not a States issue. That's our problem.
But I also believe, this is what I'm saying, the States don't rate us because there is some trash artists in the States. Like it's very layered. Like there's so much ways you can go about it to say whatever reason it is. But
okay, prime example.
I do believe Americans want to hear Americans.
Nah, because okay, here's prime example. Academics. He had a what Canadian female rapper on his show, did he not? He bigged her up. Who was the one who stuck whose foot in whose mouth?
Wait,
but that's Chromas. That's Chromas.
But that's what
hold
I'm
on.
saying.
Chromas is not
Chromas
like
had the light on her.
Chromas was not y'all okay.
Okay, but hear me out. I'm not gonna sit here and battle whether or not, or what's the word? Or judge her actual ability, whether performance, style of music, all that other stuff. I'm just saying there was an American platform, an American person who had invited, made sure that there was representation, and not only just for her. There was a whole panel of Canadians, a whole panel. DJ Snoopy was on it too. He had opened the floor for all these Canadians to be able to have light shed on them and have all that stuff. After that, that man continued. Academics continuously put on segment after segment with Canadians. We can't sit here and say the man did not rate us. He rated us. And who put the foot in whose mouth? Not him.
I didn't say certain pockets they don't rate and certain people don't rate. I said America want to hear Americans. That's how I feel sometimes. America wants to hear America.
No.
Like they'll hear everybody else. America want to hear. You think America wants to hear
Canadians? Yes, all the time.
No, a Toronto accent on the track? Not really. They'll colonize it and say that it's theirs. But
what do you say? Like, America literally is born and raised off of the Canadian accent. Listen to their news.
I'm gonna say this: if America wanted to hear American other music, drill, it shouldn't be called. It should be just called drill. It shouldn't be called New York drill. It shouldn't be called. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the issue isn't okay. So the issue is not actually any other sector of entertainment other than the urban scene. This is what you seem to be emphasizing
But
on. Nobody wants to hear. No one wants to listen to the urban hip hop scene in Canada.
Canada in general, yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Because if they're looking at our places, they're filming and doing production here. They're doing all types of art, buying the highest, selling the most. When it comes to books and all these other things,
but
Caribbean culture, having one of the biggest carnivals, gets to be able to go over there and blow out. It just seems like the only problem is the urban scene. Then
the rap.
That's really it.
Like I said, I feel like I'm just gonna keep saying Americans want to hear Americans.
All right.
Drake got in, tapped in, and somehow got through, and you know what I mean, and created something for Tory and everybody else. But I feel like at the same time, there's a lot of people that don't rate Drake, and he's the top artist. I can't say in the world because I don't know how the world thing. He's one of the top artists in North America.
I mean, I think he's
and they can't take
the
it.
top for the world. Look at Kanye. Kanye's losing his ish because of him.
And I guarantee you, there are people there. It makes them sick that Drake is a top artist. Sick to their stuff. How we make this Canadian man come here?
Because he's played the metrics.
But I'm telling you,
play the metric game. What do you want?
There are people, American people are sick to their stomach right now. That door was open. That the man came in and kicked through that. Sick. And then Tory Lanez comes and they're like, oh, they took the 80s music too.
Yeah, and had him dating a whole Megan Thee Stallion. Come on now.
Justin Bieber kicked through the door. Yeah. Any man that came from Canada, I'm not saying that, this is what I'm trying to understand that people don't realize. I felt like any man that came from Canada or Toronto that went to the US, they did a kick in their chest. Like they got a kick, like a nutty kick. They're like, oh, how? But it's amazing though. You have to respect it.
How? I swear the States be bigging us up like nobody's business.
Not everybody in the States, yo. I don't believe so.
Yeah, I'm not saying not everybody. I'm not gonna say that, but I feel like a good majority is.
Take it in.
I feel like
wait, hold on. Quick
I'm gonna say
lesson.
68%.
Because okay, if you go from, I know Maestro was big at one point where they're playing him in Buffalo, but keyword Buffalo, New York only, not like anywhere else, right? Then after Maestro, it was Socrates, it was Thrust, it was Choclair, it was Cardinal, it was Rascals, it was Chaos, right? I remember one time I was watching BT when BT was like popping. And I remember seeing their video on 106 in Park. And I was just like, oh, shoot. So I thought at the time we were going to make it. Right? But
they kept us at 10, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Let alone 9.
We were on the top 10, but it was like.
They kept us at 10, 9.
The one thing James was saying is like, when they, you know how they pan to the audience, right? After the video would play, the audience would be like they didn't understand it. They're just like, this is different. Like it's. The question marks, right? And then after the Cardi era, Cardi came back with Akon with the big single, the big dangerous single.
They still didn't rate him.
I thought he would be out, but he wasn't out still. He was like, I know Cardio. He's like Dave Chappelle likes me, but like Dave Chappelle is just one dude, right? But not like.
But that's the other part. Like how many of Canadians too, right? Because that's okay. How many Canadians actually go for in the urban scene? Go for the celebrity listings as well, not only just for music streaming and metrics and being able to be in front of the right producer's face, but also saying like I'm trying to achieve and obtain this livelihood, like this lifestyle. You can see Cardinal Official like in 2 seconds if you really wanted to.
Yeah. But
You can't go and see Ye. Come on.
But that's different. So
Wait,
you
hold
gotta think that's different, man.
But that's a
Because
part of it.
Because wait, I forgot too. Yeah,
You
after
can't go see Jim Carrey. Come on now.
because after the dangerous thing, right? It was a little like this is when I guess this is when the term Toronto rapper came up. There's all types of people like I can't even name half of them because that's a whole nother politic thing. But there were a lot of people that come up, you know, like okay, there's more rappers in the city, right? But then when Drake got hot in 2008, 2009, I was like, oh, okay, he's bubbling. Okay, they're playing
I'd
him in the
say
States.
07.
Late 07, yeah.
07, 06.
I knew he was out of here when Wayne co-signed him. When I saw Little Wayne co-signed, I was like,
For
ooh.
Drake?
Yeah, I was like, yo,
Well,
Drake.
that was like Carter 3, Carter 2 Wayne.
That was Carter 3 Wayne. So it took from 1990 with Maestro to 2000. When he gets shot out, like 2009, for Toronto to really be like, okay, Toronto, we see you guys. 2009.
But that was but Drake has been doing impact in like the state scene when he had like Trey Songz.
That's what he's saying. That's what Kadeem's saying.
But look how late it was though.
Carter was probably like I swear Carter was way later.
It's around the same time. That was around the same time.
No, I swear there's like a 3-year difference.
It was around the same time. Carter 3, Trey Songz.
Because we were 18.
Yeah, Carter was doing longer, but Carter 3, Trey Songz, Drake was around the same time.
Roughly. And then when he came with Take Care, that was like, oh, okay, he's really. And then he pulled The Weeknd. So The Weeknd was bubbling here, and then people in the States go, who's this Weeknd guy? Who's this guy? And then that's when Weeknd kind of left.
I feel like people.
And then Tory came, and then Tory left. And now
Tory had a different projector, though. He had a different way. He went around.
Tory went around. Yeah.
Started my years with Sean Kingston, and then slowly.
He kind of So it's like, I don't know. We'll see what this rollout holds because I don't know. There may be more people stepping up the city, but then I guess the big takeaway from this convo is why do you have to step out the city in terms of urban?
I think people are gonna step out less.
Really?
Because I think DJ Vlad is setting up shop in Toronto. People are setting up shop here.
James told me about the Vlad thing.
But keep in mind, I think a lot of people. Like I said, I feel like they don't rate Toronto, and I think Toronto is just kicking in people's chest. They're gonna start kicking in people's chests.
At this point, we have to.
We're gonna start kicking in people. Toronto is gonna kick in a lot of artists' chests because I can tell. Like you can just tell some people don't rate. Like they rate Toronto because they rate Drake, but there's some people that just. I know it gets man sick to their stomach.
It's like this, like
he does everything. Why is it what the controller? How did that hit?
Look how Joe Budden acts with Drake. That's really he's a jackal.
He's speaking Spanish. It makes them sick to their stomach. They can't handle it. They can't phase it.
It's funny. Joe's the same way with Tory Lanez too. He has like this. It's like how are they so good and just like.
But
I think it goes back to that livelihood that they're trying to attain, and I think that's also the reason why they're successful.
Yeah,
but sometimes I wonder do you think that if you could make it out of like this is just a little question I would think if you make it in Toronto you could make it anywhere?
Oh yeah. Compared to you say no.
No.
So we took the phrase if you make it in New York.
Because you said anywhere. No.
Oh, okay. If you make it in Toronto, can you make it in the States?
Yes.
You should. There's some parts of the States I visit where I'm like, yo.
Because Toronto, I don't think, and that's the thing. I think Toronto, what do they call it, Screwface City, or Screwface Capital or whatever. So I think Toronto is it's a lot of class. We pull out quality. In a sense.
Like Cardi said, bottles will be flying at the door. If you bring a mediocre show, bottles will be flying at on stage.
I think we start really good talent, but we don't invest
them.
and yes, flourish them. That's the best way to say it. I think that's when the States comes in and nurtures what's happening that has already like been harvested or like been sowed. They like whoop, and then bring it back to us and be like, all right, they're ready. Here you go.
Like our oil.
Now do it. Replicate this.
Well, at the same time, we'll just have to see how this goes because
Rolling Loud.
This Rolling Loud Toronto, I just hope it's peaceful. If it's peaceful, hi Rolling Loud. We interview artists too, so if you would like us to be a part of it, we would love to.
See, like I don't understand why we're bigging this up. Like OVO don't exist. OVO Fest, October. Like, why are we acting like this don't exist? Why are we waiting until Rolling Loud? This is my upset. That is my upset.
I'm gonna say this about OVO Fest. OVO Fest, great platform, but I can't even say but it's a great platform. It's just I don't know the trajectory of OVO Fest. I don't know what their intent is on OVO Fest, but Rolling Loud is a festival. I think OVO is like a Drake show. I don't think OVO Fest is like a Drake show to me. When I hear OVO Fest, it's like a big concert. It's Drake and friends. You know what I mean?
Okay, but why can't Drake and friends tour Canada and the States?
I mean, they do.
They're not gonna have an OVO Fest in the States.
But this is what I'm saying.
That's just common sense. OVO Fest is something from Toronto.
That's not
just
common
like
sense.
They don't have Caravana in Miami. They don't call it Caravana in Miami.
Wait.
They don't call it Caravana in Miami. Why?
What do they call it?
Because Caravana is Caravana in Toronto.
What do they call it in Miami?
You tell me, but it's not called Caravana. It's a carnival, but it's not called Caravana. Right? There's only one Caravana. There's multiple carnivals. You see what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So like I can't see OVO Fest be probably eventually if they want to, but
how long has OVO Fest been going on for it to not be able to expand?
Maybe don't even have to. They said you want to come to OVS, you come here. Maybe that's how they feel. They say you want this, you come here. We're not going to y'all, we come here. We don't know how this works.
Well, the Miami thing, they call it Columbus Day Weekend Carnival.
Columbus Day Weekend Carnival.
Because Caravana's our thing, and then New York is like what do you call it?
Isn't it Labor Day?
Memorial? No, I don't know what it's called.
But New York has their own, and then Trinidad has their own. Everyone has their own different days too. Yeah, but not all on the same day. So
at the end of the day, I think Rolling Loud would be interesting. Can't wait to see what happens. I just want peace and love. That's all I want. Peace and love. Like, guys, I know there's blood. Like, I just hope mans could settle down and say, yo, let's all make money here. Let's all get this exposure and call it a day.
I hope when Rolling Loud comes through, that Toronto gets a rude awakening of all the other artists that exist in Canada. That too.
It's about exposure, right? That's how I see it. It's about exposure. That's how I see it.
Who else is out there and why other people are getting eyes and not?
And that's something to discuss, why people are not getting eyes. But other than that, it'd be pretty interesting to see. And at the same time, I just hope, Rolling Loud is a big crowd. So I think that's
the first time I'm actually hearing about them. So
oh yeah, I've been watching Rolling Loud. So it's separate, like your performance makes a pivotal part to, like, a lot of things makes, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that come with this. But I just hope it happens. I hope COVID kind of, figures it out and chills out a little bit, and maybe this happens. Hi, we would love to be a part of it if possible. And yeah, I think it's time to wrap this up. Is there anything you guys like to plug?
Support a brother. Yeah, NIJIRO. Twitter, Instagram. I think I'll be posting just. I feel myself being more active on Instagram now. Like just posting landscape, pictures of the weather, picture of food. So, otherwise, I'm saving up money as always. And I'm gonna look into the NFT photography thing because there's a certain website I saw where I even saw Tory Lanez on the website. Funny enough, and he has all his videos NFT'd, and he has artwork of him NFT'd, and the price is set and everything. So I'm like,
Man made $1 million, I think,
off his album drop. Yeah. So,
yeah.
So I would definitely look into that. Right. Wait. Sidebar. See, how come you're not verified yet on Instagram? Instagram. How are you not verified yet? I was looking at some profiles the other day. I'm like, how are these people verified before Z? Like I seen Z post something where
because you have to apply for it.
You haven't applied? You never applied, or?
Trust me, all my friends who are verified, they've been asking. They're like, when are you gonna go and apply? I'm like, guys, I have to actually, and again, I have to actually do something that is not in the eyes of urban scene and be in the other scenes in order for me to get some form of recognition.
Oh,
That is it.
That's a topic for a whole another day.
Yes, it is. Zakia, what do you got to plug?
Definitely check out my studio at ZZ.studio on Instagram. Follow me and vote for me, and check out my Kickstarter. So yeah, because I'm gonna be publishing my first book.
Jeez, the photo book?
Yes. So right now I'm in the process of raising funds for it, and whoever is, wants to be a part of the whole thing, then you can get like special rewards out of it. Be the first person to get a copy of it, maybe get also a physical copy, not only just the digital. So you are interested, definitely share the idea around. And yeah, that's what's happening.
All right. You can follow me at J Hunterville on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me on Twitch at Loop Pistols. I am currently playing Resident Evil Village, and some other stuff. Follow me on YouTube at Loop Pistols. Shout out the Blizzard Boys for Blizzard Boys Coldest Pod out. Yeah, I'm creating some things. Didn't explain about it yet, but I have some things in the tuck eventually. Yeah. Also, have any questions or concerns, send it to askthevent@gmail.com. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, everything that does podcasts. If we're not, let us know. Google Podcasts. There is a little issue rift that's going on with it, but it should be done by the time this podcast drops. So anybody that listens on Google Podcasts, you might have seen some other things cross references, but we already sorted that out, so we're waiting for the refresh. And yeah, any questions occur, send it to askthevent@gmail.com. February we will be on Twitter Spaces. We're gonna be speaking out there, so it's like a live interactive thing where anybody can speak, talk. We might have some special guests there, and yeah. That's all I got here. The moral of the story is, whatever information, find it for yourself. Don't go outside in a snowstorm for Caribbean food, because even without a snowstorm, they might not have your food. Quality over quantity, and be safe out there, guys. COVID is still out here running rampant. And yeah, this is the vent. We out. Peace.